My name's Alexandra.
And I'm Angelica.
And this is Legends of Yesterday, where we talk about histories, mysteries, and ghost stories here in Florida.
Florida.
Now, if you're new here, welcome. If you are not new here and you're a regular member, welcome, you beautiful, gorgeous alicorns, because yes, I have to remember to do. I have to. You know, we did it. It was like one of the first things that we did on the podcast, and it was like, you are an alicorn.
You are an alicorn.
You've got wings.
You've got wings.
You got a magical horn.
You got a magical horn.
If you got it, flaunt it.
Flaunt it.
Bialystok and Bloom. Okay. So,
producers.
Bloom. Hey, Uma Thurman.
We were listening. We went to the South Florida Film Forum this past weekend.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And while we were on our way there, we were listening to Stacy's mom.
Yeah.
And one of the things that was so funny to me is like the end of each like line of lyric, like they repeated what they said, but just like the second part of what they said.
Coming back after school. After school.
And it was like so funny because what a time in our lives. Because that was...
Why do you think we enjoy repetition?
Yeah.
We're trained.
We're trained by music, by popular music at the time.
By popular music at the time. Anyways, this is my month, April. So we are going to be telling Angelica some stories, and she'll be reacting to them. Now, last episode, we discussed the history of Mount Dora because our parents recently went on their anniversary over there.
With no mountain included. If you want to hear why, go back to the last episode.
If you want to know why they call it Mount.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we're going to be talking about a different side of Mount Dora today.
The light side. The dark side.
Yes. Not the light side. There's purple lighting. Obviously, it's the dark side of Dora.
Dark side.
Now, we are going to be talking about famous haunted locations in Mount Dora.
Locations, plural.
There are multiple haunted locations in Mount Dora, and we're going to be telling specific stories from specific spaces there.
That's so crazy because I feel like a lot of the stories, like the histories or mysteries episodes we've been doing, like weird stuff happens there, like just historically, but finding a ghost story to go along with it, like it just doesn't happen. It's like, weird stuff happened here and there are no ghosts. Nay, I don't believe you.
No, we're going to be discussing things from articles from Orlando Haunts or Mount Dora Buzz. Yeah, and all that stuff. So we're going to get right into it because it is...
If you hear pitter patters, it's not a ghost. It's our dog.
Our dogs are restless during our second episodes. If you haven't noticed.
It's always our second episode.
There's always a second episode. We always make an excuse for them in the second episode. So, you know what? Just deal with it.
Puppies.
Just
Share your puppies and the mischievous things that they do at your house. Back to the story.
That's what you get for making fun of me for half the things I said last episode. Mischievous.
Gotta have seen the last episode to have known it happened. Did it happen? If they didn't,
did it happen? Pictures. Okay, so there are a couple different haunted locations within Mount Dora.
Okay,
some of the honorable mentions that we won't be deep diving into today.
Okay.
One of them.
Bring my scuba gear here. Here. Scuba.
Yeah.
Your scuba gear.
Anyways, one of them is Mount Dora Bistro.
Oh.
Another is the Windsor Rose Tea Room.
Oh.
We will be also discussing the Donnelly House and the Lakeside Inn.
So there's a bistro and a tea house we're not going to be talking about at all?
No, we're going to be talking a little bit about these things. There's like honorable mentions in the term of like, I'm not going to be discussing them, but we're going to talk about a couple of sightings and stuff like that.
This episode's going to make me hungry.
I'm not talking about the food.
I'm thinking about the food.
Incredible.
Yeah, I bet it is. If only.
If only. So Mount Dora has a very rich history and actually has a lot of active life in it now in terms of like constantly having events. Their historical society is always updating their website, which is incredible. Props to you guys over there at the Mount Dora Historical Society, because the fact that you have an entire timeline year by year up to now is wild.
We talked a little bit about this, so we'll give you this one without having to watch the last episode. Fun game you can do is go back, see what happened on your birth year with a timeline. That's how explicit it is.
Yes. We looked up our birth years and what happened in Mount Dora during that time. So it was very fun. So yes, we're going to talk about like some of the honorable mentions as well right now. We're going to start there and then we'll get into the big kahuna. Okay. So let's talk about the Renaissance building on Donnelly Street. It used to be a hotel, but now it is home to a lot of shops and restaurants and also some ghosts, including some ghosts residing in the Frog and Monkey Pub and Restaurant.
The Frog and Monkey? Does it say when it was established?
No.
That is so funny. Like the weirdest names are given to
pubs.
Yeah, in the movie we watched, Feckham Hall.
Hall.
Yeah, they had the Snoop and Drake, I think I want to say, pub, and it was Snoop Dogg and it was Drake, but it's like so true.
Oh no, it was the Drake and Dog. So I'm gonna read you guys some quotes from the Mount Dora buzz from some of the owners of some of these shops that have witnessed some of this stuff. So there's a man named Eddie Parsons, and he reported, "I'm working in my office late at night. Everyone has gone home. The place is locked, and I know I am the only one in the restaurant. Then I hear a glass crash on the floor, or the bell that is located under the bar rings. It is our ghost." So they ended up naming the ghost Nancy.
Can't be angry at Nancy.
A lot of people say that she claims to be very friendly and mischievous.
Nancy.
But there are probably a lot more ghosts inhabiting the pub. But I think that they kind of like all encumbered them as Nancy, if that makes sense. So like
any activity you're saying,
they just say, "Oh, it's Nancy."
Nancy umbrella. Okay.
Yes, yeah. They're under the Nancy umbrella.
Yeah. Someone opened the bathroom door. Fred, was that you, pub owner? No, it must have been Nancy.
He has a 24-hour video feed on the restaurant. So he at night always says that there are many, many orbs that are seen throughout the pub.
What?
On the video screen.
A streaming service. See what happens. That's actually kind of like interesting. Can you imagine having that in the background as you're like working? You just get a live feed of the pub.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of genius. Way to go, dude.
And a lot of the people that work with him were also saying like, "Oh yeah, come on, whatever. It's not like really a ghost." Like they didn't believe him. So he keeps showing people the video footage of the orbs. And to the point where they're saying like, "Oh, there's so many on screen. You can't even tell like what's happening." And then they said that they actually found that there is more activity during the winter seasons where the crowds are bigger. Now, this is what I find wild, because I'm sure it's because of all the energy of all the people coming down, all the snowbirds coming down. Mm-hmm. But and they're playing like a lot of piano, and it's dust. More lively, and it could be dust. You never know. But what's funny about the activity heightening in the winter is one of the things that we discussed in our last episode is the heighten in economy in winter in Mount Dora, because everyone was coming there to fish and hunt and all that other stuff.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I will make this my permanent winter residence. They're just taking ownership of the space, not asking permission, just going, just doing it. It's mine.
Now, actually, something that Eddie said is that he recently replaced the piano.
Mm-hmm.
He says the ghosts seem a little disappointed.
Oh, no. Why did he do that?
I don't know. Maybe it was a bad piano. You never know.
No, it's not bad.
No, some of the pianos.
It looks like it.
Now, there's another store There's a woman named Patty Dando, and she used to have a store called Patty Ann's Vintage Land.
Oh,
and she said
cute.
that it is very cute. She said that, they didn't have a lot of ghost activities until they actually did some repairs in the attic. So she thinks that is what did it to her vintage shop.
I hear a lot of stories about that where like activity doesn't pick up until there's remodels because the spirit isn't happy with the change. Like they're not expecting that change and it's so drastic. Or they just, like the piano, are disappointed in the option that was chosen.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, we even talk about it over at the Davies Schoolhouse that, they showed paint swatches.
Yeah.
And they literally asked the spirits there, like, you like this or you like this?
Well,
you like this or you like this?
Talked about in your episode about Younger Year Village, about the spirit who was unhappy because of the wallpaper color in the kitchen.
And the lights would like flicker on and off on their own. Objects would go flying, especially these tiny little like paper crowns. I think it's because they were probably like the easiest thing to chuck, If I was a ghost, I'd be
Not
like...
because they're British.
I'd be like, oh, it's heavy. Oh, it's heavy. And I'd be like, oh, tiny paper crown. Funk.
Because that's a Christmas tradition. A British Christmas tradition.
I don't know these things.
With the poppers?
Oh, yeah. So we're going to talk next about one of the honorable mentions, which is Windsor Rose Tea Room.
Okay.
Which I really want to go visit over there. So for the past 10 years, Marcia and Paul Goodall have owned the Windsor Rose Tea Room located on 4th Avenue. They were asked if they knew any ghosts in the building, and Marcia laughingly replied, quote, "We have 10 years worth of experience with the paranormal at the Windsor Rose."
Ooh, 10 years worth of ghosts. Let's go.
Some of the customers and staff have claimed to see apparitions. So one spirit is a woman who is dressed in Victorian clothing from the waist up and is like vapor-like.
But it's just in like 1980s clothing.
It looks like
down.
It looks like you can see her like here up, and then from here down, it's like
just
vapors.
Punk
jeans, vapors.
It got clothespins.
Vapors.
On it. Clothespins.
Are we here to make everyone laugh all the time or to scare them a little bit? You need to understand.
Whoa. That's terrifying. Where do your legs go?
Joka's going to go missing in the next season of this podcast. The other is a young boy who is wearing a 1960s outfit. Though Goodall doesn't know the history of the woman, she was told that the young boy was killed in a car accident in front of the building during the 60s. She also shared a recent sighting of a little boy. She says, quote, "He entered through the front door, passed through the restaurant while customers were eating, and into the men's room. He was in there for quite a while, so Paul knocked on the door. There was no answer. Paul then tried to turn the knob, but it was locked. He opened the door with the master key, and there was no one in there." What? One night, my husband was upstairs in the office working, and I was in the kitchen cleaning up. We were the only ones here. I had my hair pulled up in a ponytail, and I felt someone brush up against me and flip my ponytail over my face. At first, I thought it was Paul, but no.
Gosh, Paul. Flipping my hair again? Gosh, Paul.
You animal.
Wow, that's crazy, though. I wonder if the customers saw the kid, too, which they must have.
There's some people that see the customers, or some people that see the customers.
There are no
That would be
customers
crazy.
at the tea lounge.
There's some people that see the ghosts. There's some people that don't.
All the customers are ghosts, and all the ghosts are people.
Well, she even says that she has, they held a Wicked Windsor night, and there were actors who did scripted seance and put on a show for the restaurant guests.
Wow.
And she says that they believe that it really upset the ghosts that were there.
Really?
And they didn't like being taunted. And for a while, they showed their displeasure and stepped up the activities, knocking things off shelves, rearranging displays, and playing with the lights.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, don't be a butthole.
Don't fuck with ghosts. Don't fuck with cats. Don't fuck with ghosts.
We're going to move on to the Donnelly house. Now,
Donnelly.
if you remember the Donnellys from last episode, then I don't have to explain it to you, but I'm going to.
You're going to explain it.
J.P. Donnelly, who was the first mayor, had this gorgeous home in Mount Dora. Now, there's actually nothing specific there, but, you know, he was a founder amongst the local yacht club. And I am going to post a picture right here from the yacht club that you just have to see because it looks like it should be in a cartoon or a movie. And it's mustache, little rifle, all this stuff. Anyway.
Like a Teddy Roosevelt?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yes. Okay. But anyways, he married Annie MacDonald Stone, who they were seen as a very good couple, but there's no like specific story that I found about the Donnelly house. But many people will like claim, like there's like an overarching claim of, oh no, yeah, no, there's definitely stuff in that house. Things move. You can definitely see some stuff. The lights are on when they're not supposed to be. All that stuff. So that is one of our honorable mentions. For sure, for sure. I'm going to be telling you some stories of the Lakeside Inn that I have been known for years and years.
Is this going to be like Shining level? Have you watched The Shining? Have you watched The Shining?
Yeah, no, I watched The Shining.
I just found out.
I'm just trying to think if it's like Shining level. No,
she hasn't watched The Exorcist. She's never watched The Exorcist. I didn't know this.
I feel like I'm shirtless on stage.
You know, when I watched The Exorcist, I must have been in like high school or something.
You were. I watched it on you watching it, and you were like,
I just realized how high my vest was. I watched it, and I thought, like, I was in my bed because I used to have a TV in my room, like a little TV, and I had all the lights down, and I thought my mattress was moving. Like the sheets in my mattress were moving as the movie was going on. So I told her, as long as she doesn't watch the movie alone, she'll be safe. I was so alone, everyone. So alone.
Anyways, we're going to be talking about the Lakeside Inn. Now, the Lakeside Inn is home to a lot of different famous people in history that actually had traveled to Mount Dora and had stayed in the Lakeside Inn, including a couple of presidents. But the Lakeside Inn is not only an inn that has existed for almost 140 years now, it is also one of the most haunted locations in Mount Dora. Now, a lot of people also claim that it almost feels as if time stands still here.
Alternate universe? Full of ghosts? Maybe.
Scary. But anyways. So we're going to be talking about it.
This is totally The Shining level.
We are going to first and foremost be talking about a little ghost named Amy.
Oh, Amy.
All right. So Amy was a 6-year-old resident of the Lakeside Inn, and she has been for the past 130 years.
Oh my goodness.
On the foggy morning in the late 1800s, Amy wanted to join her father fishing outside at Lake Dora.
Oh no, Amy, don't.
He told her to stay with her mother at the inn.
But she didn't, did she?
I can tell you the story about her, or you can tell me the story about her. So, unknowingly, Amy had followed her father down to the lake. And after that, she had never been seen or heard from again. Well, seen. So, there's a couple of pictures of the inn dating back to the 1800s. And many times people will see a small child in the background of these photos. I'm going to post some photos from Mount Dora Buzz that look like a little girl in the back of this dining room. And the people that see her say that she's wearing a little red dress.
Little Red Riding Hood Amy.
There's a woman named Sabrina Law who works at the front desk of Lakeside Inn, at least at the time the article was written. And she was an employee there for a while. And when asked if there were any ghost stories there were always claims, things happening here frequently. And it doesn't matter if it's day or night or a holiday. Just this morning, that framed picture fell off the table and onto the floor. No one was ever near it.
Every day, something new.
And many people say, the ghosts are very friendly there. Mm-hmm. No one claims to have anything negative happening in that inn.
So not The Shining. That's good.
Right. Law even states, quote, "One day I was passing by the back stairway. Something caught my attention and I glanced down and saw a rather portly Caucasian woman. She was dressed in late 19th century attire, complete with brocade dress, pillbox,
Baroque. I think.
No, brocade. That can't be Baroque. It's brocade.
I was incorrect.
I know how to spell
But
Baroque.
Also, I wasn't reading the article.
Yeah. Brocade dress.
I mansplained to her something I clearly didn't understand.
Pillbox type hat and a small purse hanging from her wrist. She was so real. And then she disappeared. So sometimes there's also a lot of scents that go around. So a lot of cigar smells and some like perfumes that maybe your grandma wears kind of thing, like older smells. But there's no one in the room with you when you smell these things. Like you just get like a waft of cigar and you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? Grandpa, stop. And then also the front desk phone will ring on its own. You answer it, no one's on the other end.
This is where
and they're from guests' rooms. Okay. The calls aren't coming from inside the house.
Okay. Because I was about to say, like, I get a lot of calls. I get plenty of calls that have no one answering on the other end.
No. It's coming from inside the hotel, and the rooms that they come from are unoccupied rooms.
That's scary. I don't like that.
Yes.
I don't like that. I literally got chills on my shoulders.
Well, there was another person that didn't want to give their name to the Mount Dora Buzz article, but they state that they were coming up the back stairwell, the same one where many people have seen apparitions before, but someone was right behind her and trying to whisper in her ear. But no one was there. So now they no longer use those stairs. Ha 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 ha. Now there's a man named Floyd who works there, and he does the early shifts like around 5 a.m. where the early birds like arrive into the inn and stuff like that. Floyd
doing the job no one else would.
No one wants. And him and one of the cooks, Myrtle, are the ones in the building, were the only ones in the building, and they heard like echoey voices singing and laughing, like almost if there was a party going on.
Wow. And
they asked if it was just like, was it an old building settling? Like that's what they were coming up with. They're like, oh, maybe it's that. And then Floyd had said, quote, "I lived in New England and I have heard the creaking and groaning noises of very old homes, and these are very different."
Floyd knows what's up.
He's
a morning person. He knows what's up.
And yet.
What?
And yet.
And yet what?
I don't know. I just felt like saying and yet. It felt more dramatic.
It was dramatic. I was waiting for something, but nothing
changed. And yet.
And yet what?
Nothing. Now we're going to be moving on to our big kahuna.
We're here. We did it.
Okay, everybody. We're going to get to our final part of this Lakeside. We're going to get to the final part of Mount Dora's strange happenings.
I cannot wait.
This comes to us from Reddit.
Reddit? Of course.
I'm really into it right now.
I can see.
I'm getting really good at it. And this is the subreddit r/Orlando.
Got it.
Okay. Mount Dora Catacombs.
What? In Florida? How do you get underground?
I just want you to see this wild photo.
What?
And I will post it there. But yeah, there's like a catacomb system under Mount Dora.
Dude, so you're saying we can't have basements, but there's a catacomb system in Mount Dora?
So this was posted 8 months ago.
Okay, tell me more.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Mount Dora found 2 years later. Operation_overthrow, which I think is the user.
Okay.
2 years ago, I found the exact location of the Mount Dora catacombs. Since then, local news has picked up the story, and a lost piece of Florida history has risen to the surface. While Channel 6 released their own version of the story, they neglected to give me any credit for doing all the legwork.
Whoa.
That's fine, though. I never asked for the attention, and I'm glad they are at least sharing the story with the public. Now, they have a whole YouTube video of the feature. So on the other hand, another YouTuber under the channel Core Explorations did a good video explaining my original post, so I'll share the love and encourage you all to give his video some more views. Oh, that's cool. Here we go.
I'm excited.
In 1961, Mount Dora's 25 richest families pooled their resources to build the largest privately owned fallout shelter in the country.
That checks out so hard. Okay.
When the shelter was completed, now this is very difficult because remember Florida, sea level, below it. Okay. When the shelter was completed, the inhabitants stockpiled thousands of rounds of ammunition to protect themselves from anyone that did not have the means to build a shelter of their own.
They were... Wow. Okay.
Rich people.
They were going to shoot anyone that came to try to go into the catacombs.
That did not have the means to survive.
That's like an apocalyptic film. Like someone was actually planning this.
Actively.
That's crazy. Okay, keep going.
So out of fear, the location of the catacombs was kept a secret. Of course. As decades passed, so did the threat of nuclear annihilation. The inhabitants began to move or die off. But the location was kept secret to hide the shame of Mount Dora's wealthiest families and local leaders. Fast forward to today, 8 months ago. Oh my God, it's so recent.
So exciting. Okay, keep going.
And the location is kept secret to ward off any nuisance of sightseers or fanatics. As I combed through the years of public records, Reddit comments, and YouTube videos, I began to notice a trend. The families that built the catacombs were and still are politically connected, and they inherited wealth that goes back for decades from generation to generation. They also all bought and sold land to and from each other, which made organizing the catacombs especially easy. There are a few outsiders that have been allowed to access the catacombs, but those that know the location feel that the rest of the world should respect the privacy of the owners. I, on the other hand, feel that the information is in public records for a reason. Eat the rich. This is Reddit after all.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. And Alexandra.
That was really funny.
Alexandra, you know.
So Reddit.
Yeah, so Reddit. You know, if that's been done in Mount Dora, how many other bunkers are there? Exactly like that. And it's catacombs. Is someone buried there?
Catacombs don't always mean death.
Okay.
Catacombs just mean like, ooh, a tunnel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Ooh. A tunnel.
Ooh.
Okay.
Well, unless conspiracy theory, whoever built this, they killed them with one of those rifles they kept in there to kill the poor. Ooh. Ew, poor people. Ooh. That's what they said.
So anyways, like many of you, my trip down the rabbit hole began with the article.
Rabbit hole.
The article, Gimme Shelter, from Pulse magazine. Now, this is Mount Dora, another Mount Dora buzz. Okay.
What?
Mm-hmm. This is, I'm reading.
Was this just like this group of people?
Oh my God, there's so many pictures. That's crazy.
Freaked out? And we're like, we're going to need this? Like, what happened?
Well, there were nuclear threats at the time. So, okay. So I'm just going to read about like part 2 of the article. This is an article from 2015. A rare first-hand account trip inside the city of hidden bomb shelter. Now, this is a part of the second part of the series. So in 2006, with the promise of its location remaining secret, writer Bill Sivert and photographer Rich Staten were given permission to go underground for Gimme Shelter, an article published in Pulse magazine and now published by Mount Dora Buzz.
Wow.
So, a trip down under. This is a quote from the article. As Richard and I inch our way into the eerie darkness, having nothing but a flashlight and Richard's flash bulbs to illuminate our path, I am overcome with the feeling that a nuclear holocaust truly has occurred and that we are witness to the end of civilization. Just past the steel trap door, the first relic we notice is an old-fashioned drugstore-style scale, which creates a momentary illusion that we are entering an amusement park funhouse, the dark and scary kind. We imagine that the scale was placed there for member weigh-ins, but as a good-humored attempt to lighten the mood of panicky, thriving occupants. Even the official house rules, a copy of which was provided to Pulse by the owner, are frightening. The regulations place, quote, authority for maintaining order, end quote, and enforcement of all rules in the hands of the security committee.
That's so crazy. I wonder if Fallout, the game series and the show for Prime, I wonder if they took any inspiration. Like, that's so on the nose, you know what I mean, of the Fallout shelters.
Yeah.
I wonder if they took any inspiration from, like, specifically that. Could you imagine if one of the shelters in Florida was inspiration for Fallout?
Yeah.
And just listening to that, it feels like so creepy funny, like the scale idea and the rules, that I feel like it could be.
Yeah. Well, the security committee had something, basically, quote, distribution of all food and other supplies and storage will be in the hands of the security committee. All firearms brought into the shelter will be tagged and locked up by the security committee. The security committee will stop all disputes between parties, and those of a serious enough nature will be arbitrated by an arbitration committee composed of the chairman of the security, medical, and maintenance committees, and 2 members of the board of directors.
This
the security committee
Fallout. This is Fallout.
The security committee may select from among the able-bodied men additional persons to aid in protection of the shelter. The medical committee, led by Dr. Hall, was assigned responsibility for the health and welfare of the shelter. All minor illness will be treated at a sick call at 8 a.m. each morning. Serious illness will be treated at any time. Smoking, not regarded the health hazard it is known to be today, was permitted, but only in the 40-foot by 20-foot Great Hall. Other rules instituted curfews, such as children under the age of 9 years may be in their units by 7:30. All persons must be in their units by 11 p.m., and quiet time will be observed until 7 a.m. There will be a quiet hour from 2 p.m. until 4 p.m. daily. It was left unstated how the security committee intended to punish infractions of policies when, as time wore on, children misbehaved and adult tempers flared. An agricultural committee was to make assignments of jobs to the members for the purpose of growing crops to feed the members after leaving the shelter. The committee had a lot to work with. On the tour, they were saying we were amazed at the stockpile in the large closet known as the seed room. The metal shelving units on which the cans stood heavily crumbled into rust and red dust, but hundreds of containers of seeds, most of them still sealed and secured from prowling roaches.
That's crazy to me. And who is your security group? Like, they had it picked out. They had it prepared. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. They were even talking about, like, going through the catacombs is not unlike sorting through the pieces to a complicated jigsaw puzzle. One bit of history fits here, another there, and the authors, Richard and I, say much longer that we stayed much longer than they had originally planned to stay. Despite the fear that they had going through there, and despite the fear of the owner who had let them go through it. Mm-hmm. And they were saying that they might have become a little bit annoyed, and their fear was that they would seal them inside.
Oh, yeah.
And even in such a large space, it's impossible to escape the feeling of claustrophobia and confinement. And they finally began climbing the stairs and noticed rays of sunlight pouring from above, and they couldn't help but wonder whether something should be done to preserve what's left of the one-of-a-kind monument to a dark period of history and to restore what has been lost. Perhaps a state or federal agency should attempt to purchase the property, turn the lights and the air conditioning back on, and allow the public inside. Our planet still possesses the capability to destroy itself with nuclear weaponry many times over, but if enough people had access, the catacombs could serve as a strong reminder why we never want to come close to an atomic precipice again.
Okay, listen up, guys. I don't know if it is currently open to the public, but listen.
It's not.
Mount Dora, whoever owns these catacombs, you have a great business opportunity right now. The Amazon Prime's Fallout is happening. You guys need to connect and make this like an attraction that correlates with each other. I think it's a beautiful relationship that y'all can have, and I want to check it out. Ooh, sorry. I want to go on this tour 100%, but I don't want to be on the tour with one other person. I want to make sure I can get out again. Like, I want to be after someone's already been through this tour. Yeah. And when I see someone else behind me forming a line for the next tour, so I know that I'm not getting trapped in there. But 100%, this is wow. And realistically, too, there was Time Machine, I believe. And in there they talk about like a period of time that you get to where there's almost like not mole people, but like our species, like the human species has split, and there are people who lived above ground, and I guess with environmental changes it became really harsh, so some people went underground. Mm-hmm. And they became like so used to the underground that like they couldn't handle sunlight. Their skin became used to like that underground light. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a theme that's come up a ton, but it like, who would have thought like someone actually, which makes sense. Yeah. I mean, look at us. Millennials are making secret rooms behind bookshelves. Like, there are hidden rooms behind bookshelves. We're living our fantasy.
Now, what's funny is those two authors, and I can link the article down below because you guys should really like read in depth of the article, because I'm just reading you bits and pieces. But there were even other people that they found throughout Mount Dora that in their wine cellar was a fallout shelter. Behind in their floral area was a fallout shelter. Mm-hmm. That it was like a very common thing in Mount Dora to actually have. Wow. So I'm going to read you a little bit more of the Reddit story. And I'm going to ask for no interruptions because I've got a bit to go through here. But I really want to read it for you guys because this guy deep dives and went through mortgages of people and found the original story from the 1940s of like what happened. Okay. In the 1940s, John and Marguerite Miller bought tracts of land along the shore of Lake Gertrude in Mount Dora, Florida. After John passed away, Marguerite began to unwind the real estate portfolio and sold a portion of the highly sought-after lakefront property. Each of the deeds between Marguerite and the families purchasing the parcels of land included the land map from 1946, which I will show you the images of. And that breaks the land up into different tracts. There was also a 1954 deed where Marguerite sold the land in the S half of the lot, F of the Stage and Kennedy subdivision. And this deed was also contained in a map from 1953. Wow. Which will become relevant in a moment. In 1957, Marguerite passed away, and the remaining land along with Lake Gertrude was divided through the Miller estate. The Vasson family received the parcel of land directly north of the catacombs. Many believe that the catacombs lie on the property, and the Vassons received from the Miller estate since the Vassons received from the Miller estate, since the distinguished colonial that sits on the property screams old money. The colonial is a decoy. What? The Baker family inherited the orange groves to the west of Lake Gertrude, along with the property where the catacombs would soon be built. The property is titled, quote, track number 1 in one of the images. So I'm going to be posting the images just for a little while on here.
Yeah.
And then you guys can go back and look at these images
Not
if you'd
gonna
like
lie,
to.
hard to follow with whatever.
Yeah, you can see the tracks and like if you take a picture of it while I'm talking about it, you'll be like, oh no. Okay. Anyways. So it is also worth noting that track number 1 was revised and that the southern 45 feet of the property was sold to the landowners that held track number 2. With the lakefront property obtained from the Miller estate, William Baker now had a blank slate to begin his work on the Catacomb project. From the GIS map and the historical aerial comparisons, we can get a pretty good idea of where the catacombs lie. If we take the township and range from the GIS maps to search the Lake County records, we can cross-reference the search with a citrus magnate named William Miller. This will reveal an old line, image 4, from 1962 that describes how Mount Dora's 25 richest families couldn't pay the bill for their, quote, cooling, ventilation, dehumidifying, air conditioning, and air filtering system, end quote. All in the name of fallout shelter.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. The lien also presents us with a map to the catacombs. In cryptic deed language, the lien, is it lien? L-I-E-N. Lien? Lion? Whatever. Describes the coordination for the entire property where the work was performed, including the orange groves. The land description in the fallout, quote unquote fallout, line matches the land description that William Baker received from the Miller estate. The land description has been plotted in image 5. The line breakthrough is huge, but it's only a part of the puzzle. The named parties in the line include William Baker and B&M Inc. This takes us back to Lake County records search, where we can pull up the original charter in image 6 for B&M Inc., which is described as a nonprofit whose purpose is to, quote, promote cooperative living, end quote, in the buying, selling, and development of land. Per the charter, quote, any husband and wife having not more than 2 children shall be deemed eligible for 1 membership, end quote. The charter named 3 officers, Theodore Mittendorf as president, O.M. Simpson as VP, and William Baker as secretary-treasurer, which, if you remember, there was a board of directors that was listed under the rules and regulations and everything. William and Theodore, we know. But after a little digging, one would see that Simpson's family were practically the first settlers in Mount Dora. Anyways, the real smoking gun was the second document tied to B&M Inc., the lease to the catacombs on image 7. The lease has everything you need. It names William Baker and the B&M nonprofit. It contains specific coordinates to the catacombs. It even specifies that the land is to be used for no other purpose other than a, quote, fallout shelter, end quote. We're really close now, so let's get straight to the coordinates outlined in the lease. Okay, this is going to be rough, but here we go. Commence at southwest corner of Lot F. Well, that doesn't make sense. Starting at Lot F, going to south 176 feet, then east 104.4 feet, doesn't take you to the west right of the way line of a county road. It takes us into Lake Gertrude. Mm-hmm. According to a handful of the deeds for the properties along with Lake Gertrude, Lot F is on file in the public records. Lake County, Florida, February 27th, 1893. In Plat Book 1, page 32, which is image 1, the location of the southwest corner of the lot is described in 1893 on the Plat Book and doesn't make sense. It was all for nothing. Catacombs are lost forever. So, I wasn't ready to give up just yet. I imagined sunglasses and a fedora.
Yeah.
Okay. The first part of the lease coordinates, image 7, truly stumped me. Commence the southwest corner of lot F. Run thence south 13 degrees 11 west 176 feet.
Is it code?
This direction specifically was not used as a coordinate in any of the countless deeds I read through and charted. The second coordinate, though, south 13 degrees 11. This was something I recognized from 1954, where there was a deed where Marguerite Miller sold a piece of the west half of the south half of lot F. Are you keeping up with me, kids?
Yes. Aye, aye, Captain.
Refer to the 1954 land map in image 3 to visualize what this coordinate is referring to. This sale of the land changed where the southwest corner would be located, which would change the starting point of the catacomb coordinates drafted years later. Still, though, this starting point wouldn't put the catacombs in a viable location. Combing again through the documents, I realized that the direction of the, quote, run thence south 13 degrees 11, west 176 feet was on the Miller estate distribution, where the Baker family received the land containing the orange groves along track number 1 in 1957. In the deed from the estate distribution, the orange grove granted to William Baker would consume the remaining south half of lot F. The 1954 land sale deed and the 1957 estate deed combined are the final piece of the puzzle. With the starting point revealed, we can now use the lease coordination to take us straight into the catacombs. Image 8 shows the plotted coordinates from the lease, which reveal the true location of the Mount Dora catacombs.
Wow. This person,
Indiana Jones,
dug so deep.
And everyone in here,
literally, figuratively, that's incredible.
Everyone in here is like going ham and giving like more articles that were released and everything. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, pictures, these are pictures inside of the forgotten catacombs and all this other stuff.
Way to go, OP, for ripping that one wide open. That's awesome.
Yeah, so someone commented, weird stuff like this makes this subreddit so great. Awesome investigative work. It's like, this is incredible. Oh, okay.
True journalism happening on Reddit.
There's another comment from 8 months ago, and it says, a few years ago, I took my motorcycle and a drone to the area with the goal of finding the entrance. From what little research I did before I knew, I was near the orange grove and across from the lake. I was convinced I found the shed that led to the entrance of the house it was attached to, and it had a for sale sign and nobody was home. Shame, because I was 100% ready to ask nicely if I could go for a peek. I believe it's the structure point between the North 79th and the South 04 in image 5. A very cool deep dive, though. Thanks for sharing.
Wow. So they have a structure, like something hidden beneath.
I mean, yeah.
That's really cool.
It's crazy. And they really document. And I'm going to show you. I will show you all of these pictures, my friends, especially because OP is blatantly stating, like, we should all know where this is. God forbid something happens.
What a Mount Dora. Who would have expected? Mount Dora?
My big kahuna.
Yeah. This is a huge kahuna. Can you believe that?
It's crazy.
Anyway, people of Mount Dora.
This is crazy.
You need to contact the Fallout people.
I want to go down there.
I would love to see in the next 10 years a Fallout game based in Florida. If there's not already.
I'm shocked no one's tried to film down there because, and I'll show you the pictures after, and you have actively seen the pictures, but it is wild down there. And they had a photo shoot. They had a photo shoot down there also, like after the catacombs were refound or something, like for the article. And it was like people dressed in like 60s attire in the actual catacombs.
I can imagine that. I haven't seen the pictures, but it must be an epic event space. I mean, realistically.
Well, everything's really narrow and tight and all that stuff. It's not like meant to be like, woo. It's meant to be like war.
Yeah. I mean, dark time in our history, but also really insane that it exists, that it's there. You know what I mean?
No, utterly wild.
Yeah.
So Mount Dora, we're coming. I'm planning it. I have to go.
If we don't come back, we're in the catacombs.
It's haunted and there's catacombs.
So come and find us.
I'm gonna ask blatantly. Show me the catacombs.
We have to see it.
Is there like a secret password? Someone tell me.
Knock knock.
I hope he posts like a secret password.
It's like Dora, Dora, Dora.
The Explorer, Mount Dora, right? Well, I really appreciate. I know this went a little bit longer actually than I even expected, because of the Reddit story, but
fantastic find.
Thank you guys so much for listening, paying attention, hanging out with us for all this time. Thank you so much for always coming back to us and discovering new things with us, because we are constantly learning about the history of Florida and the crazy shit that goes on here in Florida. And so are you. And that's special.
And honestly, what a big thing to take away from this episode. This is a Redditor who has taken it upon themselves to do the research, to deep dive into Florida's history. And when I go on Facebook, there are so many awesome groups that do the same thing, post their stories from the past that would otherwise be lost to us. And that's exactly what the internet is for sharing our stories on the bright side of the internet, of course. So, I ask you, share your stories below. If you don't share your stories with us, please let people know about the incredible, awesome things that happen in Florida, because it's such a huge state and there's so many stories to tell. So tell your story.
Seriously. And if you guys have Florida Reddit posts or your own stories or other stories that you find fascinating or weird or funny, whatever it is, as long as it's from Florida, we talk about it. So until next time, my friends, stay creepy. My name's Alexandra.
And I'm Angelica.
This is Legends of Yesterday. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.